Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ron, aka Ron the Artist, coming to you live. And welcome to Ron's Recap. I'm here today to recap and review the TV show Snowfall on FX. Snowfall, I like the show. Season 5, episode 4, titled Revolutions. Let's get into it. Again, I like the show. I like this show. Like, it's episode 4 and in season 5, and it's definitely mysterious, and the plot is definitely thickening. You know, it's not taking too long to get to the point of what's going on and what's happening, and I like it. So again, let's get into it. The episode started with Franklin's mother. She came to visit. As she arrived at her previous home, it became nostalgic, having instant flashback of her and Franklin in the past, and Franklin's father, which is he's no longer in the picture. He's dead or MIA or whatever the case may be. He's no longer in the picture. So that became very nostalgic for her, walking back into her home, where they had these memories. So next up, Jerome and his team stashing away, the incoming product. And so someone pulled up blasting a tape with specific lyrics that caught Jerome's attention. Somebody pulled up with specific lyrics catching his attention, and he's like, okay, wait, where'd you get this tape at? And then something odd happened in the neighborhood. I'm assuming he got the tape. The dude who was blasting that got the tape from somebody out in the neighborhood who was standing on top of, the project houses. Someone, appeared to be a hippie, a young kid, playing music with a skateboard, like a young hippie that got no business being out there where he was at. So the young black kid with an afro and glasses, hippie, in the projects, dancing on top of the roof. Man, Jerome and Leon got out there, and Jerome, Leon, and the gang, let me correct that. Jerome, Leon, and, the accomplices went out there and made him get off the roof, and they like, jump. Jump off the roof. He like, wait a minute, it's going to take me a minute. Apparently, the kid, he only wanted to make music and rap with whomever wanted to out there, but they took it as him wanting to snitch on the neighborhood and then some. They took it as, the kid wanted to snitch on them in the neighborhood. So as the crew was to take the young kid's tapes, to take his recordings, that I'm assuming he was just either giving out or they were constant tapes that, he made. I'm not quite sure of that due to the kid giving whoever that tape already. So they wanted to take his tapes, his recordings. He let it be known that he has been rapping and making poetry for a minute. And someone pleaded for them to, let him keep his tapes. Let him, keep his tapes. He's going to take his entire mixtape or whatever. And shortly after, 5-0 pulled up, running towards whoever and unleashing their dogs. A dog caught up with one of the young kids from the crew and bit his thigh, taking him down to the ground. And what do you know? Buckley, the 5-0, he was behind the attack and the raid of the neighborhood. Like, that man is bad news, just bad energy, just bad. Bad. Like, why? Why, Buckley? Why? I feel like you either with them or you not. Like, yeah, you've been asking Louie for help, these past couple of weeks, and for her to give him somebody to turn in so that he can get his bosses off his back. But he didn't even really give her much time to do that before making a move on his own and really doing the utmost. And why? When that's where you get your product from. And also, I don't know if that young kid, he had something to do with, the young kid with, the young kid with the tape. I don't know if he has something to do with, the raid or anything. That connection wasn't made, but hopefully that will be elaborated on next episode or going forth, because I need clarification on that. I need clarification on that. FX, Snowfall, give me clarification on that. Okay, so next up, Franklin and his girlfriend, Veronique, and his mother. It was just Franklin and Veronique. They were enjoying each other's time with each other, in their home, in their personal space, until Franklin received a call about the projects being raided. And instantly, they offset it together in spite of Veronique's worrisome and concern displayed over her face. Like, she's tired of the madness. She's tired of the madness, and she's like, when will it end? And you can tell she's to that point, even though she hasn't quite said it. Well, I guess she said it maybe in episode 1. At the end of episode 1, where she was like, we got to get away from this. I don't want my child to be born in this. But she's not seeing any signs of that right now. And honestly, again, I don't see Franklin stepping away from that. So we'll see how this goes. So back to that. It was displayed all over her facial expression, and off they went in spite of it. On to Franklin and Veronique. They pulled up. They pulled up on Peaches to get him for the mission. They got to the team, gathered, with him, Leon, Louis, Jerome, the gang. They gathered, out of aggression and ready to make a move afterwards. The bust. And Leon was not for it. And Buckley made it known that he was behind it. And that's allegedly Louis' connect. So what's the issue? What is the issue? Like, Louis, I thought you had that under control. That's your connect. He be all up and through their business. Like, why? Again, that man is trouble. And honestly, I think he cannot be trusted. He can't be trusted at all. So, meanwhile, more concern. In the midst of that conversation, more concern appeared on Veronique's face as Leon is heated and ready for war, ready to go to war with the police. And just a lot. In the next moment, Franklin's mother appeared, surprising them with her presence and unknowingly revealing the secret of Veronique being pregnant out of love. She didn't do it maliciously. She, that's the reason she came back, hearing that she was pregnant, out of love and, wanting to celebrate that. So the secret was out. She didn't know that it was a secret. And that left Louis' face puzzled too. Like, what? Huh? It's obvious that Franklin needs to get out of the game. Like, there's so many pinpoints around him, like, pretty much telling you get out the game, but he feels like he wants to take on more. Your girlfriend is pregnant, and the girlfriend that you're not even supposed to have in the first place, according to Teddy, aka Reed, because you're mixing business with pleasure all across the board with the drugs and the legitimate business, the real estate. You mixing business with pleasure all across the board, and it's just not okay. Then the mother, as we're about to get into, is getting messy. And Louis and Leon, Louis probably concerned about that too. But Leon definitely expressed to him, like, you probably need to get out of the game. Like, to my knowledge, if you're smart about the drug game, then your motive in a drug game should be to get out of the hood, or to get out of a situation to get into a better situation outside of the hood. Once you've obtained that, which Franklin has obtained, what is the point? What is the end goal? Like, just to obtain more money and fame and glitz and glamour? Like, that's how you get caught up, and that's how messes form. And it's starting to become that. It's starting to become that. And Franklin needs to do something fast because his world is probably going to start crumbling soon. And I don't know why. Like, I feel it. Like, as this plot is thickening, as the plot is thickening, I feel like Veronique, something's going to happen to her. There's been no implication of the sort with this, but I feel like something's going to happen to her. She's pregnant. That is Franklin's love. Reed has already warned him about his relations with her, which could potentially interfere with business. On top of her being concerned about the business that they're in. So, like, what is to happen with her, you know? What is to happen with her? What is to happen with her? What is to happen with her? But I definitely feel like before this season ends, something is going to happen with her. Like, she's not going to sit around and just watch all this chaos keep going on around her. So we will revisit this moment while I said this, because I'm curious to know what's going to happen with her. Veronique, she is a character that's kind of a little bit of a floater in a dangerous game. So we'll see where it goes. Next up, Louie. She made a visit to Buckley and confronted him about, the drug bust that he just unleashed. And they seem to have two different versions of the terms of their partnership agreement. Like, he gave Louie the orders of doing what he asked, and she'll be fine, honestly. I'm not sure of that because Buckley is a ticking time bomb, it appears. Like, the man is on coke. When he probably gets in that mode, things get to spiraling. When he probably comes down off that high, things get to spiraling. Like, and he's on edge about his job. Things are spiraling. Like, Buckley cannot be trusted. He's showing that. He's showing that you could only give so much. You could only give him so much. And he's just going to keep taking, with or without your permission. And I feel like Louie needs to come to grips with that. She needs to cut whatever ties she's got with him and move on because he is unpredictable. Buckley is unpredictable and not really an ally to her as he thinks she is. Or, yeah, as he is not an ally to her as she thinks he is. Like, they need to fix that. They need to fix that quick, fast, and hurry before that becomes a problem. Like, he's pretty much moving and doing what he pleases, and these are people that are supplying your product. We're going to see what happens with that, too. I can't wait to see how that unravels, but he let her know that she'll be fine. I peeped that. Like, his words were precise. She will probably be fine, but people in her operation, not so much. That's crazy. Again, unpredictable. I can't wait to see where that goes. Next up, Franklin arranged a meetup with Reed, a.k.a. Teddy, to see what he can do about the drug bust with LAPD. And Reed let him know that he's on his own and have no more connects with LAPD due to Franklin's father, which always seems to be a soft spot or a sensitive topic for Franklin. He's always seems to kind of pull back, or his guard gets it increases whenever the topic of Franklin's father come up. So, especially when Reed brings him up, because Reed is tied to his father's presence. So we shall see where that goes. Reed pretty much told Franklin to only look out for himself and his family members versus his people, which was foul as hell and just blatant disrespectful because these are the people that are making him rich. These are the people that are moving his product and their product, Reed's product. So I don't get it. So that was foul, but honestly, it was somewhat accurate. How else is Franklin going to stay out of the way of the madness directly? How is he to directly stay out of that madness? He's going to have to look out for him and his people at some point, and just let the people go down with him. I mean, to let the people go down for him, but it's just a matter of how he's going to respond to that once they go down. Ooh, they are in a serious game. A real serious game in Cutthroat. And they don't have any room for error. They got to stay on guard and keep their, be on their feet at all times. And that is no way to live, honestly. To always be on guard and on your toes and just to make a living. Okay, so next up, Leon made a visit to the Latin weapon god. I'm going to call him that, the weapon god, because I'm not sure what his name is, but I'm going to call him the weapon god. Leon is definitely wanting to declare war on LAPD after Leon requested some some serious heat. The weapon god asked him why, who, and how. After Leon told him, which Leon didn't really have a how, he only told him, why and who, which was LAPD, and because they attacked him. The weapon god told him, like, that's not it. Dude, like, that's not it. Like, you're about to unleash madness onto your people in the projects. If you're going to try something like that, definitely, do that outside your neighborhood or do that outside your community, because why would you unleash madness onto your community like that? And that's a very good, thought, because I'm sure Leon hadn't got that far yet. He just know he wanted heat. You just can't pull up on police with just heat and ready to go. Like, that doesn't make sense. So I'm sure he's going to put thought into that, again, alerting him on the hell he'd unleash onto his people in the projects with that motto. But Leon resisted that and was way too stubborn to take no. So the arrangement for the weapons was made in a few days. Ooh-wee. High key, I feel like Leon is biting off more than he can chew. And this might be a problem. It might be a problem. Like, it's already a problem. But what he's about to do and retaliate is going to be more of a problem, and it might not be so good for his character. I'm just saying. On to Franklin. He's at the real estate company with Veronique as Lana Bell, I think that's her name, Lana Bell, informs them of the work that she's been putting in around for the tenants, which seems to be working for her. She's staying out of trouble, putting in work, putting in her use and talents and where it's desired and being compensated for it. The conversation was interrupted by Franklin's mother, paying them a visit, kind of making it awkward with Lana Bell as she's been staying at Franklin's mother's house. So off Lana Bell went to work. She then went to work, like, bye. Thank you for letting me stay at your house. Like, so as Franklin and Veronique brought his mother to speed on the business, she kind of drifted away to a mental space that wasn't really quite depicted. It wasn't quite depicted where she went mentally, just that she kind of drifted away and sounded out what was going on around her. Maybe it was about her husband, maybe it was about her family and where she's at. And this moment that she's at is all way too sweet versus where things have been previously, being in that city. So, yeah. Next up, Jerome and Louie. They were having a talk, starting out with Franklin inviting them to dinner, but it appears that Louie doesn't want to join them for dinner. As Jerome attempts to get her to go with him, things are still awkward between her and Franklin, on top of her being overwhelmed by all the madness going on. And especially since that bomb was dropped about Veronique being pregnant. But that didn't last too long. Jerome got her, to let her guards down, and Jerome succeeded at getting her to agree to come with him. Said, I don't like the fact that you, put me in the middle of me and my nephew, Franklin, and it's a problem. There's some static there and it needs to be fixed. And I agree. So, on to Franklin and Leon. Franklin made a visit, to the projects, catching up with Leon, inviting him to the dinner as well. But Leon declined the invite due to feeling like his presence is needed more at his home amongst his people and the projects at the moment. Versus as someone else's, restaurant, celebrating, eating nicely. He wasn't feeling that. Literally, the man got scratches and scars on his forehead as this is being talked about. So I can understand that, why he didn't want to go. Why he didn't want to go and he felt like I need to be here protecting my people. And that's just that. That's just that. So it's push comes to shove, it's time for the dinner at a nice little sushi restaurant, so it appeared. And all the people who were invited there, they were there present except Leon, meaning Franklin, his mom, Veronique, Louis, and Jerome. The place was nice. On a little rooftop it appeared, and at night, and it was cute. The dinner was treated as a welcome back to his mom and a discussion about the newly expected bundle of joy that Veronique is to give birth to. As the dinner went on, Franklin's father became the topic of discussion again. In spite of his mom not knowing what happened to his father, she truly believes that Teddy, a.k.a. Reed, killed him. Little did she know. Not everyone is convinced of that Reed killed him, or at least they don't have any proof of that. Franklin, of course, as him and Louis exchanged glares across the table, his mom caught on to it like, what's going on? What are y'all not telling me? What's going on? What are you guys not telling me? And it dropped the bomb on her. As Franklin didn't want to reveal it, Louis pushed him to reveal that Teddy, a.k.a. Reed, is back, bringing in extreme awkwardness to the table, and it was like a spear, was thrown through his mom. You could see the moment where it just shook her spirit, really, whew. She felt it. And that was a moment where she's like, okay, this is an issue. This is an issue. This is an issue. This is somebody who killed my husband, potentially killed my husband, and he's back. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. And she still didn't quite tell him. Well, they didn't quite tell her about Reed's role in the business as well, which is also a problem. Ooh, again, the plot is thickening. The plot is thickening and it's getting messy. So on to the awkward car ride home with Franklin's mom, Franklin's mom and Veronique, and Franklin himself. Franklin's mom let him know the real, he needs to stop keeping her in the dark. Let her in. Let her in, let her in the business. Franklin clearly wants to keep his mother out of that life, but she clearly wants in and to not be left in the dark anymore. And you can't blame her because now that she's back, she needs something to do. She needs something to do, and now figuring out what happened, or at least having suspicion about what happened, and the person that did whatever to her husband, it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem, and it should be, honestly. The next day, Mrs. Saint, Franklin's mother, she makes a visit to the projects alone to visit Leon. She wanted to see him and drop a few words of wisdom on him and some experience, some knowledge on him, some knowledge from experience on him. Ultimately letting him know that she wants to help and may be connected to others that want to help as well. And I know that took him by charge. He wasn't expecting that. For whatever reason, she knew exactly where Leon's mind was. And she let him know, little do you know, there's people out here that wants to help. And I may know people who want to. And that was the moment. That shook his ass. I know it did. It shook him. It shook him. So next up, the next scene was Jerome at home listening to listening to that kid's tape that he took earlier. He was analyzing them, damn near analyzing every lyric, tape to tape. You know, until you heard a specific bar or a specific line about a key with an uncle and a nephew. A key with an uncle and a nephew. And when Jerome heard that, he appeared angry or bothered by those lyrics when I wasn't quite sure why. Like, what does that kid know? Like, what is his intentions or what? Like, again, was he a part of that bus? Like, I didn't really see him be a part of that bus as well. Like I didn't see him go down, the cops didn't get him or whatever. I didn't see him run off. So was he like, I guess, planted for the bus? I'm unsure of that. Or was it just so happened that the kid was really there wanting to collab with those people and figure out, you know, what's what and just trying to really connect? Because he still had the tapes and there was real deal talent on the tapes, bars on the tapes. And then again, the man mentioned a key with an uncle and a nephew. So again, I don't know if that was a message as well. Again, I hope that can be elaborated. I hope that can be elaborated at some point. Because again, it left that man stunned and bothered, heated. So I'd like to see that again. On to Veronique. Veronique, she approached Franklin about, you know, downplaying Teddy's position that night. You know, and currently, you know, and she approached him about downplaying his presence, downplaying Teddy, aka Reed's presence in their business to her and his mom. And she had to get to the bottom of it. She took the conversation even deeper when she dropped the gun on him that she found in the home. Apparently, Franklin lied about it. But now knowing what she knows about Teddy, aka Reed, she wants more gun in the house. She wants more guns in the house for protection. And at that moment, I was like, woo. She is aware and ready for whatever, which is needed. It's very needed, and she was ready for whatever. And again, that brings me to the point where I said, like, I feel like she's going to end up in crossfire of some movement at some point. Like, because, again, she's an innocent bystander in this, just kind of in the middle, a floater. And Franklin is too close to this business, and she is too close to the business, but not really in the business, you know, hands-on like Franklin is. And she's pregnant, and he's already been warned about having relations with her from Reed. And I just feel like something is going to really happen to her, like bad. I feel it. The plot is thickening. It's thickening, but not in a predictable way. But I feel that there's going to be a moment with her, and it's going to shake Franklin up. I know and feel that. So, lastly, a nice thorough moment as the episode ended. Mrs. Saint, a.k.a. Sissy, a.k.a. Franklin's mother, was at the restaurant waiting for someone, preferably an Hispanic man by the name of Ruben. They were connected by someone by the name of Anna. Sissy is meeting Ruben in regards to having Teddy, a.k.a. Reed, taken out and getting the info on what actually happened to her husband beforehand. She's not playing any games. She's back with vengeance on Reed and ready to play with whomever is to get in the way of her family and into whatever. It is whatever. She obviously had connects elsewhere, and when she was gone elsewhere, she had connects and was plotting and making moves behind the scenes maybe that Franklin doesn't know about. That will be elaborated, I'm sure. I'm just, assuming or guessing. I'm sure that will be elaborated on. So I would like to hear more about that. But for the most part, she gave Ruben orders that take Teddy, aka Reed, out. Take him out, but find out what happened to my husband first. And she is ready. She's about to get her hands dirty as well. On top of getting that dirty, she's about to get her hands dirty. And she still doesn't even know that Teddy is a part of the business. At least the one kind of calling the shots behind, the one who calling the shots behind Franklin. So it's about to be a lot. It's about to be a lot. And again, I am ready. I'm here for it. I'm in tune with it. I'm intrigued. The show has now sucked me in. So let's see what happens next, guys. That's all I got for you. That's all I got for you this week. Until next week, it is, guys. It's your boy Ron, a.k.a. Ron the Artist. If you're watching this with me right now, we are on Instagram Live. If you're watching this on YouTube, this has been pre-recorded and taken from Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment on this video. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the recap review. What did you think about it? What did you think about the episode? What's going through your head regarding what's going to happen next? If you're watching this on Instagram, the same applies. Hit the follow button. Like, share, comment. Let's talk about the episode. Let's get into it, guys. Until next time, it is. Peace.